Okay, we're live. Hello, my loves, and welcome to the second episode of Carter Love Talk Show After Hours. Today we have Callie here.
Hola.
Hola. So y'all know me. Y'all know I like to start off with how we met, and then the guests can go into who they are. But I did my very first mixer not too long ago at the Tap Wine Lounge in Sacramento. And I partnered with the owner of Tap as well as Aaron Cameron, who is the founder of Capital Creatives in Sacramento. And he actually invited Callie to come to the mixer. And that's where we met. And we've been connecting ever since. So that's how we
Mhm.
met.
Yeah, for sure. She got me with a body scrub. It's really the body scrub. It was the hey, how are you doing? I got a gift for you, you know. And I was like, okay, I'm sold.
The body scrub.
The body
Not
scrub. Got
scrub.
my kids got my kids walking around talking about I smell like a coffee cup.
Not the coffee cup. I love it though. I had a friend, my cousin actually, she laughed at that. She was like, "Kids say the funniest things." I was
I
like,
tried
they
to give
really
her
do.
I try to give a really honest review on the site,
Yeah.
but yeah, ultimately it's an awesome product. It definitely is helped with the smell, the scent chemistry, if you will. And
Yes.
as a man that's represented for the bigger brothers, we got to make sure we smell good at all times. That's just like a part of our starter kit. So
Yes. 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 I love that. I love that so much too because um I just relaunched the product. So I have like the oils are like slightly different now or whatever. So I just relaunched the oils and the scrubs and stuff. And so the marketing is going to reflect, being for male and female,
yeah,
because of course a lot of people assume that it's just for females. And so it's nice to have that, that feedback. And it's also great that you were one of the first people to give that review on the product. So I'm like, yeah.
yeah, for sure, it definitely worked out. And so yeah, I know we've been kind of talking on and off since we met. So I'm pretty sure we'll be have more time to dive into it here. But I'm definitely curious to even know what led you to create these products, led you to be so intentional about making products that make us feel, good, beautiful, smell nice. You know what I mean? But also are good for our bodies.
Mhm.
I can tell the ingredients are very intentional as well. Um, so yeah, I know this is your show, so you usually talk to other people, but I'm interested to learn more about you as well.
I love that so much. So originally, I it was learning that there's chemicals in all the things that we use, right? So I have a hormone imbalance. I have PCOS. It's actually polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's actually polycystic ovarian syndrome awareness month. So September, woo woo. But anyways, so I started learning more about this stuff because all of that stuff affects your hormones.
Yeah.
The imbalance was is with PCOS is so bad that it can affect your ability to have children.
Mhm.
And so I discovered this at a young age and I was like, okay, we got to change our life because I always
Mhm.
imagine myself as a mother. And so I had to cut out like high fructose corn syrup, artificial preservatives, artificial anything was cut
Right.
out. So not a lot of boxed foods, not a lot, because the preservatives and all the
Yeah.
things. And so I cut out a lot of that stuff and then I start diving deeper. I'm like, well, there's other things that are affecting your hormones, not just the stuff that you eat, because the stuff you put on your skin, it goes into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
So there was that, but then there was the second thing was I always wanted my hair to be natural. And when I
Mhm.
thought about natural, I thought about the products need to be natural and my hair needs to be natural, right?
100%.
So I would look and there was all these chemicals in our products and then I was like, okay, so the natural stuff that I did find was super expensive. I said, well, I can make this shit myself. So I started making it myself, and I started with a butter because with my hair texture, I have 4C hair. I need heavy butters.
Mm.
So I started with this shea butter blend, and then that's kind of where the name came from. At first, my brand was called Queen Turner.
Come on.
But then like a friend of mine, he made a joke and he was like, you should call it Shea Butter. And because it's called Shea Butter and my name is
Yeah,
Shay, my nickname sometimes is Shay, but sometimes it's Shay.
come on.
So
Okay.
that's kind of where the name came from. At first it annoyed me because it wasn't my friend, it was my friend's fiance, and he was kind of like the annoying brother.
Okay.
So I was like, ugh. Like,
Look, look. Messages can come in various ways. God works in mysterious ways, girl. In
like,
mysterious ways.
ugh.
He will use the person that annoys you to bless you. Come on now.
Man, so yeah, so when I relaunched it after I had my kids, because I kind of paused on it. I was still making stuff for myself, but I paused on it. After I had my son, I said, I am not going back to work. I'm staying home with my baby. So that's when I started doing the clothing and I started doing the oils again. And that's when I rebranded to Shea Butter. And so then my stepmom, she's from Hawaii and she wanted to start doing oils. And it was the cutest name because her name is Hokalani, so we were gonna call them Hokalani healing oils or Hokalani, yeah. And it was so smooth, but she didn't follow through with it. I said, well, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna start doing these oils. So I started doing them myself because with shea butter, I mean with shea butter, when you melt it down, when the temperature changes, it can change the texture and stuff. And so putting that on the market was kind of hard to do. Selling it to friends and family wasn't hard, but on the market, it was a little bit harder to. I
Right.
just felt like I was gonna get a lot of complaints, right?
Mhm.
And so I started doing oils, not to mention I had connected with a doTERRA woman and she wanted me to sell doTERRA oils, but doTERRA oils, they're essential oils. They're
Mhm.
very pure, but they're very expensive. And I'm like, I don't know people who are going to spend this much on a small thing of essential oil when they think the oils they're getting from Marshalls are real, right? So
Got you.
I said, I can make an oil blend that's actually healing and beneficial to the body.
Mhm.
Uh, and so that's what I started doing. And it just kind of grew from there. With the relaunch, it's more about increasing your self-love so much so that it overflows to where now you can share yourself with a partner and not lose yourself in that partner. And
Come
so
on.
then it's like now you guys have a level of intimacy that you
Mhm.
can share with one another. So that's what the rebranding is all about. It's about like an abundance of self-love, self-intimacy, self-pleasure, because another thing that doesn't get talked about, right? Like it's taboo.
It is.
So it's about embracing that sensual, loving, intimate side of you. That's
Mhm.
why I got red nails.
Come on now. Shout out to it. Everything intentional. Nah, but that's beautiful. That is an amazing story. It even makes, I think, the connection to the products for me as now a consumer and a client even more real. But it also speaks to like my uncle. One of his favorite sayings is "necessity is the mother of invention," and sometimes the obstacles that God allows us to have lead us to the solutions that not only bless us but end up blessing other people. So,
Yes.
um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I love that.
recently go ahead.
I was gonna say I love that so much because um I was telling my cousin in doing these shoots for the oils, they're more sensual than what the
Mhm.
normal shoots that I do. I do pretty sensual shoots, but they're not I'm not consistently doing them, right? There's
Got
like
you.
gaps or I'm doing them with female photographers or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So this last shoot that I did, it was like challenging for me.
Mm.
Um, it was super vulnerable. And I was like, it amazes me that I've created this product that's all about embracing your sensuality and healing healing those parts of you to where you now feel comfortable showing up in the world this way.
Yeah.
And as I'm healing that part of me, you know what I mean? So it's like it's infused into the whole process of everything.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And like you said, it's a conversation we don't have enough. Um, we don't talk enough about, starting when we talk about love, we don't usually talk or start with ourselves. I think, especially as
Yeah.
people of high melanin, we are constantly thinking about other people for the most part. We're constantly pouring out,
Mhm.
but not a lot of conversation about pouring within. And so it's dope, and me recently just being connected with you, just seeing, your focus as far as, that self love and how you express that, even just through your own shoots and your own body, things of that nature. It's inspiring. So, yeah, thank you for doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
For sure, for sure.
I
Mm,
appreciate that so much. You guys,
most
excuse me because I am eating because I have not eaten. I came
definitely.
off was it 36-hour fast I did yesterday. So I think it was from 8 Wednesday to 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
Um, so but I had let too much time go by while I was doing my work in my office, and I was like, oh shit, I need to eat. And then I was like,
No.
oh shit, it's 6 o'clock.
Hey, look, as an entrepreneur, and I know you're a super mom, you do so many different things, you have all the work in the world, but we definitely need you to nourish yourself for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's
Um,
why it's like it's the after hour, so I can do this.
and I'm definitely a stickler for fasting. I have made a decision recently to incorporate it in my weekly. So I have one day out of the week that I fast, and it's just water. And it's been pretty amazing. Not, of course, there's a space where you feel it in your body, but I really think the difference between fasting and just like a diet is the intention of the spiritual.
Yeah.
And so it's giving me a lot more prayer time. It's giving me a lot more, conversations with the divine. And I feel like whatever antenna connection I had before, oh, the window's wide open now. We just be
Yeah.
talking. We be talking. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely appreciate the concept of fasting and all the benefits of it.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, so it's fairly new to me. Like I used to fast in church, right? I was a praise dancer and a choir member.
Come on,
And
praise Breakthrough.
taught, yeah, at the flags and
Come
everything,
on, flex.
you know. Um, but I was taught that as ministers, we need to, be prayed up and ready to, go because whatever's in our spirit, we're going to put out there when we're dancing and singing. And so
Yeah,
we would fast and pray. And I was required to go to Sunday school and all the things before, praise dancing and singing in the choir. And so I fasted. And so that was my concept on fasting. And
mm,
then I learned about intermittent fasting,
yeah,
and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I did start doing it. What I love about fasting is the discipline.
yeah.
Um, I just love the increase in the discipline. But
Mhm.
what I did with I didn't really do it with intermittent fasting, but this time around I combined the two because when you fast at church, you're praying. You're using
Mhm.
scripture to get you through. You're
Yeah.
connected to God, like you said, you're praying and all the things. So this time when I did this fast, the 36-hour, it was it was for a couple of reasons. A body reset, um, excuse me, to connect with my body, but
Mhm.
also just to connect with that spiritual, the spirituality
Right.
sides of things. And so it was cool to be able to do that, intentionally, like you said. And I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to do it again. I'll probably do it once a month and then I'll start doing it twice a month. But I feel like I'm more aware of what my body needs just from
Yeah.
doing that because I was able to like listen to the messages.
100%. 100%. I even throw this out there for, those who may be watching. Fasting is also another great way of boosting your immune system and healing your body. And so, some of the research that I've done, um, just listening to different professionals, usually if there's some type of injury or even colds, things of that nature, if you were to go on like a 3 to 5 day fast, in that time, your body will start to heal itself. Once it stops the process of breaking down food, it starts
Mhm.
to look at the cells within the body and say, you're not working, get out of here. You're kind of messed up, get out of here. And literally, not only from physical injuries to internals, it will literally clean itself once
Yeah.
it has that space. So fasting is pretty dope. It is.
Yeah, a friend of mine sent me a video that showed that. And I was like, that's why I was thinking about doing it longer.
Hmm.
I was a little afraid because, baby, I get hangry, okay? And it's not because the reality is I don't know. Like when I'm hot, I know.
Right.
I'm sweating. I'm it's hot. I know I'm
Right.
irritated. When
Hmm.
I'm angry, I have no idea until food hits my lips.
And then you're just like, oh,
I'm
life is
like,
not
oh girl,
bad.
your food was off. You
Okay.
know?
Okay. Duly noted.
Welcome back, Deshay. Welcome
Duly
back.
noted. When Shay Shay shows the tude, hit her with some food. You know what I'm saying? Just
Hey, I need that on a shirt. Okay? I need that on a shirt. Because baby, and don't let it be hot and I'm hungry. Come on now.
that is just a combination
It's
for
gotta
destruction.
be combination. Listen, whoever I marry, they need to know these things because
Of course.
it's not pretty. Keep
I was
me
about to
fed.
say this is an episode that whoever the future husband is, they just need to study. Just take notes and
Keep me fed.
all right, pantry
I need
full, fridge
I need
full.
a fan. Keep me
Make
fed. I
sure
keep a fan in
no
my purse.
processed food.
Listen, I don't mind being sassy when it's natural, but when it's not natural, okay? When I don't have control over it. You
Well, I
know?
will. Hey, I think real men like a little spice. You know, what I'm saying there's nothing wrong with a little spice, especially if it's the type of spice where I know what the solution is. Let me just go
Right?
ahead to the kitchen real quick. I got you.
Baby,
I'm,
just eat it.
I got you, man.
Finish this
What you?
damn
What you
fry.
matter of fact, did you eat earlier? Don't eat, no, coffee does not count. All right, cool. I got you. Yeah, nah, for sure.
I feel like I'm gonna marry someone who will just laugh at me while I'm flipping out and then just bring me food and I'm like, oh,
Hey,
right. It's been
sometimes
about
you just
5
need that.
hours, babe.
There it is. You just need a safe space. Just okay. I see you. Just come here. Just lay down. I got you. I already look. I'm not cooking tonight. I already ordered the food. It's on its way. They said about 10 minutes. Just relax. I got you.
Just lay it down. Just lay it down.
Put on your favorite show. Put on some Netflix. Let's kick it. The baby's already asleep. Just relax. I got you.
Lay it down. The food is on the way.
There it
Just lay
is. There it is. There it is. Come on now. Well, at least
down.
you know yourself enough. You know what I'm saying? To start giving people these lists of
There's a
how to keep
list.
you. There it is. There it is.
Listen, there's enough videos of me online for people to really study. Okay.
Okay. Come on, make it easy for us. Make it easy. So I do have a question. I came prepared a little bit,
We
somewhat,
love to see it.
somewhat. Also, I wore a special shirt. I don't know if you can read it.
Never underestimate the power of a woman. I
Come
love it.
on. So we were talking the other day, and in the same vein of you finding different things to kind of help just you, your mental, your spiritual, your holistic, all that kind of stuff. You told me that you was gonna get ready to start playing in the grass and stuff like that. And
Playing in the grass.
you had said something about a yoga mat and setting aside time to just lay and just bask in the stillness of nature and slow down and all that kind of stuff. So, first question is, did you get a chance to do it? And then two, if you did, how was it?
So I've done it twice. I was supposed to do it yesterday, did not
Uh-huh.
do it. But I want to make it an every Thursday thing. It's something that's so special to me about Thursdays. I really think it's because I was born on a Thursday.
Come on now.
That's another story. But
Uh-huh.
I did do it. So I started. The reason why I decided to start doing this is after that shoot that I was the one I got these nails for, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go home. I didn't have the talk show that night. It was a Monday night, but me and the guest decided that we weren't gonna do it that night. So there's four or five Mondays in this month. So I was like, okay, we can skip one day. I haven't skipped a day, so my mind was like, Deshay. So I was
Right.
like, Deshay, you can utilize this time to work on talk show stuff. I said, I got home. I said, I'm not doing that. It was hot. It was hot in the house. You know, it was loud in the house because there's 2 TVs on and they loud. The kids like the TV loud. I said, I'm not doing it. I'm going to get my yoga mat. I'm going to go lay my ass in the grass. So I got my journal and everything.
Come
Because
on.
while I was on the train home from the photo shoot, like my wheels were turning. And I was like, we need to process this. But I was getting overwhelmed because there was so much downloads I was receiving.
Yeah.
So I laid in the grass. I had my yoga mat because the grass out here, the people be letting their dogs poop and they don't be picking it up. So I can't ground the way I would like to. I can't put my feet in the grass or lay in the grass, but I
Right.
would if I could. But so I laid my yoga mat down, laid down, and I just looked up at the clouds. I just let the thoughts wash over me. Like
Mm,
they're coming. I'm just letting them come. I'm not trying to figure them out. I'm just letting
gotcha.
them wash over me.
Yeah.
And then after I felt like I did that enough, I got in my journal and I just wrote everything that came to my mind. And then after that, I did an audio journal. The audio
Mhm.
journal is where more of my guidance comes from because I'll start speaking things out loud. I'll get downloads from my intuition, and my intuition will be like, so this is what we're going to do. Like, this is the switch. So then I'll start pouring into myself, right? So then now I'm Auntie Shay. So now I'm giving myself a pep talk. No, because you was doing this, and so now we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this way. You know, you move
Mhm.
like this because of this. So now we're gonna do this, and
Right.
you know, I might even give myself some affirmations or whatever. But that's where it all comes from.
Got you.
So that day I was like, this was really good. And sometimes you need to just slow down because you need to. One thing that I have learned over this last few months is that my intuition body and my mind are not always aligned. My mind is
Mhm.
still moving in a survival mode. My intuition has all
Mm,
this knowledge from my trauma
mhm.
and from the lessons and all the things, and my body is healing. And so, you know, she's ready to like start using her voice, right?
Mhm.
But my mind is like, no, she says no to everybody, right? And
Mhm.
she's just going still in survival mode. And so that's one of the things I was like, I gotta slow down and
Yeah.
listen to my intuition, listen to my body, and then make decisions. Because yes,
Mhm.
I'm a good problem solver, but sometimes the problem don't even need to be had. So
Man,
I said,
man,
I'm gonna start doing these every Thursday and just lay it down
come on.
and reflect.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. I think the intention behind it is very honorable and beautiful. I think. All right. So my friends call me Calvin. Obviously, that's not my real name. That's the name that has become my brand name, and I'm gonna go left and come right. But
Yeah.
of course, I'm from California. But to me, it had to be bigger than just a region because California doesn't define me. I define me, and it just so happened I was born here. So to
Mhm.
own Cali, I changed it to an acronym that stands for Conquering All Life's Influences.
Mhm.
And so, in that same mindset, I think the world presents so many different things for us. It's like it tries to speed in our pace. It makes us feel like certain things are real when they're not real, especially social
Mhm.
media. So it's on us to create our own safeguards, if you will. It's on us to create those spaces to slow down because it won't slow down for us.
Exactly.
Um, matter of fact, one of the main phrases is crash out. The only way you can crash is if you're going too fast, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and
I love
so I
that.
think it's
We need
very.
that. We need to make t-shirts.
Come on now, I'm with it. I'm with it. I stay with a good quote. I stay with a good phrase.
The
But
only way you crash is if you're going too
too
fast.
fast.
Okay?
Fact. The only way you can crash is if you're going too fast. And
Amen.
so I really appreciate those things. It's something I'm trying to incorporate more on my own. As of right now, like I do these morning walks, and I'm pretty proud of myself. They've been pretty consistent. So after I drop the kids off, I usually just as soon as I drop them off and get back to the house, knock out 3 miles. And there's no like competition in it. I'm not trying to, of
Yeah.
course, it's a space of working out. Like I get my steps in, but really it's just slowing down, talking to God,
Yeah.
listening to music, and just being. And I might incorporate this whole because I really do like nature. Like I'm one of the
Yeah.
ones that go outside and walk around barefoot in the grass. all that kind of stuff. So I might be like you and roll around the ground. We ain't got no poop in ours, so you know what I'm
Gotta
saying.
roll around.
I might just go ahead and you know what I'm saying, get my little meditation laid out, make some what they say, snow angels, make some grass angels, and just kind of see where things go. But yeah, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Um,
Take your time. Take your time.
yeah, for me, I love a walk. I love a good walk.
Yeah.
Um, I get a lot of downloads from walking too. I go on my walk. Sometimes I do an audio journal, and then because I'm in nature and I'm just around nothing but nature,
Yeah.
the downloads come. Sometimes I'm just there. There's this beautiful willow tree on my walk. Oh my god. I always stop. I always stop at it. I always have to feel it. I always have to like connect with it. There's moss on it. I always have to touch the moss. Like
Yeah.
I just love that tree so much. It's so beautiful. It's like three trees connected, literally. Like if you look at the roots, but it's like the way they intertwine with each other. It's just so beautiful. It's hard to explain. I've even tried to record it, and I got a pretty good recording of it, but it does the tree no justice. It's so beautiful, and I just like love to just go. And I touch everything when I go in nature. And I'd be like, I'm glad I'm not allergic to stuff. Because
That
I
would be
just
kind of
be like,
bad.
ooh, ooh. And then I'll like lay my hand on the tree bark and I'll just leave it there for a little while and I'll feel the energy and
Nah, that's special. That's special.
I'm
Um,
like, I'm grateful that I'm not allergic because I just be
man, man, same here. Matter of fact, yeah, 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 I'm grateful as well. Both my parents, my father, rest in peace, and my mom, they both like had high allergies. When that season changes, they be in
Mhm.
there sniffling and coughing. But I came out, I have none, and God willing, I'll continue to not have it. I hear sometimes you can develop it later. I'll be like, I rebuke that. Mm-mm,
Yeah,
I rebuke it. I will
yeah,
have clear nostrils, clear sinuses. So yeah, yeah.
yes, yes. I love me some nature. I think it's just so much power in connecting with nature
Hmm.
and um it not just it being grounding, but it's just I don't know, it's something about it that I love. The energy. It also reminds me to be free. It reminds me that we have seasons.
Yeah.
There's this other tree that I like, and in some seasons the leaves are green.
Okay.
In other seasons, they look almost like a cherry tree. Like it's not a cherry tree, but the leaves almost look like a cherry tree. They don't
Interesting.
fall. It's not even in fall. It's in spring that they look like this. And
Interesting.
then deeper into spring, they bloom and they're pretty actually I do have a photo of those. They're a pretty pink flower that does almost look like a cherry blossom. It's
Yeah.
smaller than a cherry blossom. And it's just so beautiful because that's just 3 of its seasons, right? I don't even remember. I don't think I've seen it in the fall, so I don't know what it looks like without leaves, but it's just so beautiful because that's one tree. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
has 3 different looks, and it just reminds me of us, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And how we try to put ourselves in this box or we allow other people to put us in these boxes, but
Mhm.
we're not meant to be in those boxes. You know what I mean?
Mhm. All right now. All right now. Look, that those statements, especially some of the conversations I had today, those can lead into so many different
Mhm.
intellectual talks, especially when we talk about, being more intentional, the melanated experience, the black experience, things like that, and how although there are spaces we all are similar, the black experience is not like everyone that is black has their own version of it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Not all
Yeah.
of us come from the same area, not all of us come from, but we are still connected. And so, just like shouting out my city, Sacramento, regardless of what they talking about, this from farm to fork is still the city of trees. And
Yes.
and I think that what makes it so beautiful is not the city of trees because it has the most trees. It's the city of trees because it has the most diverse. Like
Mhm.
literally going down any street, you'll see 10 to 11 different trees, different
Mhm.
types of trees, palm trees. cherries, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, pretty dope.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love that. I love that. Are you born and raised in Sac?
Born and raised in Sacramento, California. And thanks to my parents, I've been all over. I was technically born in Oak Park, right at UC Davis off Stockton Road. I was born on a Friday. And I
Mhm.
was born a little bit before 10 a.m. So I tell people, if you really want the best for me, don't schedule anything before 10 a.m.
I
My
love that.
brain don't even fully come on until about 10:15. So, but yeah, I've been all over. Like I said, born in Oak Park, but I probably lived the most in the Thomas. I went to
Mm,
school at three different high schools just because we were moving. So I started in Natomas High School, ended up going to Foothill, that's North Highlands, and then coming back to Natomas from the different, I want to say South North Natomas, which is on the other side. Graduated from Indicum. But my family heritage is from the Caribbean. So my mom's from Jamaica, dad's from Barbados. So it's a lot of flavor there. And yeah, we've just been these beautiful Caribbean people on the West Coast, and
yeah,
yeah, and so I'm a father of two beautiful kids, and I get to wake up every day and help add value to different people's brands in various ways, and yeah, here we are.
that's awesome. So you add value to brands. What are the top 2 ways you do that?
Oh, top two, and we just talked about boxes. I don't know, I'm too big for that box,
Hey, well,
but I
if you wanna list them all, you can list them all. I just didn't wanna put too much on you,
no
okay?
worries,
Go
no
ahead and
worries,
tell me everything.
no
I
worries.
wanna know.
I'll stretch it one more, just do three. So the main spaces are creative directing,
I'm just kidding.
creative directing, project management, and content creation. I started off in 2011 professionally as a videographer. We started our first production company in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to a HBCU called Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so in 2011, me and my brothers out there, who are my former classmates, now still business partners to this day, we started, and I had this vision of, oh, we're going to tell these stories. We don't like the way we're shown in the media. How can we be mad if we're not the ones doing it? Let's go ahead and do it. And so I started off there and creating content. Sometimes it was weddings, sometimes it was storytelling pieces like documentaries, things of that nature. Sometimes we did music videos. But really, I didn't know that God was just developing a skill set. Although I was very good, I fell in love with the editing part. I just love putting pieces together.
Yeah,
And but also I fell in love with the people and all the interactions with that. I'm a people person. I love interacting with people, getting to know what makes them tick, especially in a space where I get to tell people stories and
yeah,
elevate voices. I thought that was special. But in the process, I was learning how to manage a team. I was learning how to communicate vision. I was learning how to take a person's vision, like, okay, I see what you're trying to do, but realistically, we might have to do this to get to there. And so eventually that evolved to me coming back to California. I stayed out after I graduated in 2011. I stayed there till 2018. And
mhm,
then came back to California and really got a chance to use my skill sets in creative directing and project management. And now we're in a space where I've just been blessed to work with a lot of different brands. Shout out Color the Block. Shout out Shiva Farms. Shout out Generate Racing. Shout out Visionaries United. Shout out Tap Wine Lounge. And a few others. Don't be mad at me. It's just whatever came to my mind in this moment is what I shouted out. But
right. Make a
uh,
list, damn it.
right. But I just I'm grateful that I have a certain level of freedom with what I do. I pretty much make my own time. It doesn't take away from the time that I have with my kids outside of when I need to travel. I also do artist management. I work with a Christian hip hop artist named Baruch. He's getting ready to drop his debut project with his record label, Holy Culture Records. Super excited about that. God ain't done. And yeah, just looking for more opportunities to help people who are already doing amazing things get seen by more people and, get more customers.
Yes, yes. I love that so much. I love that. I just kind of got into creative directing. Is
Hmm.
something that I find I haven't done it for other brands. I've done it for my own brand.
Yeah,
Um, and then I have a friend who wants me to do it
yeah.
for their upcoming shoot. So I'm
As
excited
you
about
should,
that.
as
I
you
love
should,
that.
as
Huh?
you should, as you should. I think you would be a beast. I think you would be a beast in creative directing, 100%.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's a service that so this year at the beginning of the year, I redid my website and I wanted to I reflected on the stuff that I want to do, right? Like I spent all of last year learning. I dove into the modeling industry.
Yeah,
Um did that. I worked with photographers, did that. So all this time I'm taking notes and I'm collecting and I'm like, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? You know what I mean?
mm,
Um always loved helping small businesses. Always had the mindset for it. But then when I started modeling, I started actually before I started modeling, I started having visions of like concept. So I do concept development as well. Um, and so I was like, okay, you have this great idea. Let's put it on a website so we utilize that service and book you. So I have it as a joint thing where I can tell the story. That's where I started using the visual storyteller as like a way of describing who I am.
yeah,
Uh, so I can tell the whole story, right? I can develop the concept, I can creative direct it, and I'll be the model as well.
yeah.
Um,
Come on,
and
mom.
so I'll do,
We love
so
it.
I'll do all of that, but then on top of that, like I will still like I'll push it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm working hard to put my name out there. So when I share
100%.
your stuff, you know, that's going to add to it. And we're going to be elevating together. You know what I mean?
Come on, man.
But I could also do it separate. If you just need someone to creative direct, you already got your concept, your photo shoot, your everything set up, then I do that. Or if you just need a concept, then I do that as well.
That's
Um,
beautiful.
but one of my favorite things to do is event coordinating as well, like for launch parties or
Okay.
for um like you know I don't think that people celebrate their anniversaries enough for their
Yeah,
business anniversaries. We
yeah,
do these things from nothing
yeah,
most
100%.
right. It's rare that we're getting a business handed down to us, but even if we are, it's still a beautiful thing, you
Yeah,
know? And so I like to remind business owners to celebrate those things.
yeah, that's
Um,
good.
and so I like doing events where I don't have to feel pressured to sell tickets.
Mm,
I like us to just be celebrating, you know what I
right.
mean? And so that's why I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be an event coordinator for everything. I'm going to stick to my niche, which is business,
Right, right.
entrepreneur, small business. So, um, it's cool to hear like some of the work that you do because I like that there's some overlap.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that is the space that we need more celebration. Like we need more opportunities to see the good in us
Mhm.
and just be free
Yeah.
and let it flow. I think when we met, also I had talked about being from what I was called an experienced curator. And we're planning on putting together Afro Vibes and Wine Sacramento, and so pretty much it's a cultural celebration
Mhm.
for Black folks as we invite the others as well, to celebrate us through music,
Yeah.
commerce, food, um, yeah, and of course wine. That was the kind of like the introduction to me meeting the owner of Tap Wine Lounge and having them come on as like our premier partner and vendor for wine. And so just finding more spaces where, like you said, there's no pressure for us to be anything other than ourselves and just have a good time. And especially something that brings the whole family out. Of course,
Mhm.
spaces and places where dad and moms need to disconnect from kids for a time and just be, because even though you're a mom, you're not defined by that. You know what I'm saying? You're an amazing woman that just happens to be a mom as well. Um, and so I think that is something that just, we need more intentional programming and activations for that. You had said something earlier about like tapping into, I love how you talked about kind of like the reflection of yourself when you were grounding, if you will, um, and meditating, where you were like, my body is receiving this healing, and my body is like, we're healing, we're ready to express what this healing is, but our mind is like, you know what? I'm still processing, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And I think a lot of us, even myself, in times, are still processing survival mode, and it really does play a part in our anxiety. It plays a part in how we see other people, the filters that we see other. And so I think if we get more opportunities to be around each other in positive spaces, little by little, we start to change that mindset.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Regardless of what they show us on TV. I was at this event. I had an amazing experience with a lot of black people. Black people, are
Yes.
beautiful, you know what I mean? And so
Yes.
good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yes. So as I like that you said that because I like to jot down stuff.
Go ahead.
I'm a therapist, so I like to
Uh
jot down stuff so I know when what I remember what I wanted to say.
huh.
But
And just throwing
you
it out there, I might transition a little bit now. 'Cause I'm seeing it starting to get dark. So,
okay, sounds good.
mhm,
So you said it's important for us to have those positive spaces for us to interact with each other.
mhm,
And what I've been learning is I can be healed all day at home, right? I can be myself all day at home.
right.
But when I exit these four walls, am
Mm,
I able to comfortably be myself? And I
mm,
need spaces where I can do that. I
yeah.
need to be, in those spaces where I can just be and not feel like I have to be someone else. And so then when I'm in those rooms where I'm pressured to be someone else, I have a firm foundation because not only have I done it at home, but now I'm out in the world doing it. And I think that we need more safe spaces like that where we can just have fun and be
You do.
ourselves and not be judged for it and just be. I
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite quotes. This lady, her name is Brene Brown, and one of the things she says to her, she used to say to herself, I don't know if she still says it, is don't puff up, don't shrink. Just
Mm,
because sometimes we puff up because we feel intimidated. So we try to
mhm,
be all big and bad and extra, right?
right.
Sometimes we shrink, right?
Mhm,
I don't really puff up, I shrink. I'll shrink
mhm,
because I'm empathic and so I can feel when someone feels like I'm too big.
mm,
Or I'll shrink because I want to be accepted by someone. So I've raised them up to be on
mhm,
some sort of altar, or pedestal.
yeah.
And so then I shrink myself because I feel like I'm not worthy of that connection, right? And
Mhm,
that's something that I've diligently worked to unlearn. But of course, when you're unlearning stuff that you dealt with
yeah.
for a long period of time, it'll
Process.
come back up. Yeah, it comes back up from time to time. And so those are some of the quotes that I like to keep with me
Yeah.
because for me they're very powerful.
100%.
And that's what when I walk into these rooms, that's what I carry with me. But those are not always safe spaces. So I love that you created that safe space to invite people to come and just vibe out on the music, enjoy the wine, enjoy the energy, and just be.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, yeah. Like you said, we need it. Um, and I love your vulnerability in that space because I definitely can relate. I'm someone that have embraced that I have huge energy, huge energy.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I don't wake up 100% every day.
yeah, yeah.
Some days I'm walking out, I'm like, "Who want it? Let's get it." Kick down the
Yes.
door, waving the fofo. The world is mine. There's other days I'm like, Lord, uh, can I
You
stay in
know?
the house today? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and even I speaking specifically to feeling the energies of others, I I find myself doing that a lot. I think it's also kind of been a blessing in a sense, but sometimes it can be um, a negative when I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. So, for example, I do a lot of business with men, and just to be frank, you know, when you're dealing with men, especially in business space, you have to account for ego. You got to account for all these different things. So one of the reasons I think I've been successful is I have no problem humbling myself respectfully. You know what I'm saying? There's a confident humbleness where it's just like, hey. I'm not here to ego play. You have a problem. I think I have a solution.
Yeah.
How do we get to that point? So I know that's, even though I have a lot of great men clients, I prefer working with women. Just less to think about. But
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, but to that space, there are times too where it's like, oh, okay, I'll come into space. I'm like, okay, you need to feel big in this moment. Like, for example, whatever it is, based on what I'm reading, you need this, and I don't want to take away from that. So I will lower myself in this space,
Mhm.
even though I could. I'm gonna lower it because I feel like it would benefit you more. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's good. There's other times where, it's, yeah, man, if I'm being honest, a false humility. So being
Yeah.
able to kind of balance that, if you will, and be okay with, in certain moments, shining fully. And if they're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. It
Yeah.
is what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. I always say that these things that we label as negative are
And I'm a
only
transition.
negative.
I'm listening, but
Okay.
I'm a transition.
Mhm. They're only negative if we operate them as negative. Like,
Yeah.
for example, shrinking or people pleasing.
Yeah.
It can be perceived as negative, but they really are a superpower if used effectively, right?
100%.
And so I think that it's finding where it tips over into a weakness and
Mm,
finding where it's a strength. Like you said,
yeah.
when you work with men, it's a strength, but to some degree, when you work with certain people, you may be using it as a weakness, right? For me, I could see that too. Like there are times where, because I've worked with men and women, and they both sometimes their egos be in the way, uh,
Me too.
and I'd be like, just take my advice, okay?
Right.
Uh,
I ain't come here to fight. I ain't come here to argue.
like, why did you hire me? I'm just
Right.
saying. Um, so But honestly, I'm gonna be honest. That was the me that didn't love me as much as I love me today because
Come on.
I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I can't do it right now. Right now, I can't find the harmony because I've spent so much time shrinking that I'll start to tell myself that it's okay
Yeah.
times, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't lived in a full state long enough to where I know how to tip back and forth. You know what I mean?
Got you. Got you.
But I find that a lot of people, because of my ideas, because of how confident I am in the way I speak, um, there's some intimidation, right? And I can feel the shift in the energy, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's an automatic shrink. I don't have control over it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
in the past, that's what it was like. Now I can sense it, and I'll be like, girl. And I have this affirmation that finds me in those moments, and it'll just say, take up space. And I'll be like,
Come
okay,
on. Come on.
I'm
Hey.
good. Okay, I'm good.
That's one of the
But
things I say too. As a bigger brother, I like to say I have unique dimensions, but I like to tell people just make room for me because I take up space.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love it. I love it because that's what I'm saying. Like, I my thing is the other thing that I tell myself too um is I worked too hard to reach
Mm,
this level of confidence and self-love. Like if you've ever watched my Beautifully Imbalanced podcast, you know where I came from. You
right.
know the trauma that I've experienced. You know
Mm-hmm.
the different things I had to go through to get me to where I am right now.
Right.
You know, I worked my ass off to get to where I am. Mentally and emotionally, and to feel this love that I feel for myself. So I feel like the person needs to either be inspired or remove themselves.
Come on. No, that's real.
You know, especially because I'm not a person who's going to make you feel small. So if you feel small in my presence, it's
Yeah.
it's a time for you to reflect, because I do that too. Like there are times where I'll see a model and I just feel this envy or jealousy come over me, and so then I
That's real.
reflect. I say, what is that telling you? What is she doing that
Mhm.
you want to do that you feel like you can't do right now?
Got
And then
you.
I'll be like, oh, that's what it is. And then I'll affirmations and talk myself into, and what can you do to prepare? If you don't have the skill set, what can you do to get the skill set to
Right.
prepare yourself to do the thing? Or if it's a confidence thing or a healing thing, what can we do to start healing that thing? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so I feel like there's different things that we look at very negatively that are not negatives.
100%.
Jealousy and envy are their feelings, and just like all the other feelings, they're messages, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with other people's egos. Like you said, you're
Mhm.
now recognizing, okay, they need this is what they have going on, and that's important in connecting with different individuals.
Yeah.
My thing is finding, as a I'm studying to be a therapist, but in a therapist mindset, I try to find, how can I help them without minimizing me?
Come on.
How can I how can I help them to elevate without them feeling like I'm too big? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like I said, I if I shrink, I'm not benefiting me. And honestly,
And I
if I
benefit
shrink,
you.
I'm not serving you
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a
Mhm.
certain level of oomph that I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
when I'm being full. You know what I mean? There's a certain level of healing energy that comes off of me too.
Mhm.
So um, that's just been kind of my experience with
I think
working with others.
I think that's awesome. I think you said it without saying it. Like when you are your full self, and especially when it's rooted in love, when you're just being you, there's a certain level of freedom, a certain level of inspiration, like
Yeah.
liberation that you inspire in others who are ready for it. I think
Yes.
those who take it negatively are those who aren't ready for it,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're upset that you're so free. They're like,
Yes.
why aren't the same boundaries, or why aren't the same
Limitations.
limitations, a way better word, why aren't the same limitations that I subject to not stopping you? Why are you not limited? Why is your ceiling higher than mine? What is, and instead of me finding out or being inspired by it, I'm gonna get upset. And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, to your point, I got to be able to be okay with that and navigate through it. And
Yeah.
that's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
So when I accepted my purpose
Come on.
last year, right? I received this message, and the message was this: there are going to be plenty of seasons where it's just me, right? I tend to get attached to people, and they are seasonal. And so that's one of the
Mhm.
messages that I was learned, is that there are going to be very many people that are seasonal in your life.
Yeah,
There are going to be people where you're just there to plant the seed. There are
yeah,
going to be people there where you're just there to water the seed. There are going to be people there who are longer, right? So you're planting
yeah,
the seed, watering the seed, and you're watching it grow, but you're not
making
in there.
sure.
Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's not your job to do it for them. You're just
yeah,
there to give them some
that's
stuff,
good.
right?
Yeah,
I'm here to
yeah,
supply the tools, right?
yeah,
And
100%.
those are things that I have to remember. I also remember the message that, like you said, some people aren't ready. But if you think about your own life, sometimes a person will give you advice and you don't want to take it, right? But later on down the year, you're like, ah, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I have to remember that that's true for
It's a
me as
process.
well. I'm going
Yeah,
to give you some advice and you may not be ready to hear it, but you still
yeah.
need to hear it,
Come
because
on.
later on when you're ready, you're going to remember it, right?
Yeah,
And so that means there are people that I'm going to have to let go, because it was my job to give them a message.
yeah,
That was my job. That's why I was put in their life. It was
yeah,
my job to observe them, give them the message, and then, of course, they're going to be upset and they're going to let me go. And I
right.
have to let them go, because that's what I was there to do. And
Yeah,
so those are things that I try to remember. It's hard because if I let someone in and I'm transparent and vulnerable with them,
yeah,
to a different degree than I am online, I'm gonna get attacked. Like,
yeah,
you supposed to be in my life, you know? Um, and I hold up now. No, they're not.
right,
Like, this is seasonal,
right.
seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been learning to just embrace those seasons. It's been helping me to be more present, right? I've been
Yeah,
learning to just embrace those seasons. and be happy with what's in front of me. Enjoy the people while I can because they are seasonal.
Right. No, I think that's so beautifully articulated. Because it's not our job to make things grow. It's not our job to plant roots. We're either planting the seed or watering it. And then it's up to the man upstairs or the woman upstairs, whatever you believe. And so I think that's important to just keep that perspective. And you said it. I think although I know and have seen myself in spaces where I definitely have warrior energy, I think most of the time, 90% of the time, I have embraced that I'm a peacemaker. And one of the things that makes it easy to be a peacemaker is seeing how much I struggle in certain areas, seeing how much, empathy I have to give myself.
Yeah.
So if I'm still growing, if I'm still processing, if I'm still taking steps, who am I to think someone else isn't? And
Yes.
so
Yes.
yeah, I think all those things connect. And so yeah, it's dope when you meet other people that are on the same way. Cause I'm like you, I have a big heart and I'll be ready to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so
Yeah.
but at the same time I'm learning, and even the I'm a Bible guy, that's my book. And so I think one of the most important passages, it talks about above all things guard your heart. It literally
Yes.
says above all things guard it.
Yes.
And I think that's important for individuals who are kind of like that, knowing that, like you said, some people are going to be seasonal, some people are going to be in the moment. There's some that are going to be there for lifetime, and being able to know the difference
Yes.
and give the capacity necessary for each difference is important. Because I get attached to, I'm a lover.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much. And I think that, like you said, it's important. I think, and what I've learned is so that's the thing. That's what came, the word that came to me was self-abandoning. It's a word that I've been
Mhm.
pondering on a lot because it's something that I did a lot as a people pleaser. And
Mhm.
so I'm finding that it's something that I do still do to some degree.
Yeah.
Um, and that's not guarding your heart, right? That's not being protective over you. That's not loving you first. And I think that the reality is that the concept that we really need to grasp on is we really cannot show up for people in our fullness if we don't love ourselves first. But the other thing is that I've learned is sometimes we don't want to show up in our fullness. And I say that because there have been times where I have showed up in my fullness and I was rejected by people I wanted to be received.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it has to be tough.
So, yeah. So there's those moments where you're like, well, damn, like me being my full self, is that
Yeah,
really serving me? Because I ain't
yeah,
got nobody. You know what I mean?
right.
And I think that one of the things I'm learning a lot right now is embracing those lonely moments,
Yeah.
because those lonely moments will have you doing shit you don't need to be doing. You know what I mean? Like I said,
100%.
decreasing yourself, not seeing yourself, that's disrespectful
Mhm.
to you. That's disrespectful to your gifts. That's disrespectful to God. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Because you're created in this as this special human. And once you
Mhm.
realize that you've been shrinking because of all these different reasons, it's up to you to show up in your fullness.
Yeah.
And so I've just been thinking a lot about that and
Mhm.
about what do I want, and giving myself that and showing up in that way, because anything that I do, I know is going to impact another person because that's just who I am,
Yeah.
right? Not to mention when we pour into our healing energy, it it's it's going to go outward, right? Someone's going to
Mhm.
be in our energy and it's going to heal them in some way, shape, or form. I believe that because I know who I am. I know the healing that
Mhm.
I've done. I know that I'm able, like you said, to see a person because of what I've been through, right? So through my empathy and the lessons that I've learned, I'm able to see a person. And sometimes I don't even have to say anything to them.
Right.
A hug, a
Mhm.
hug is enough,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's kind of one of my favorite ways to help others heal is just to give them a nice big hug. You know what I mean? Um, I can't do that, right? My
Mhm.
intuition isn't even going to be sharp enough if I'm not connecting with myself. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I won't even know, like, baby girl, you need a bigger hug. You know what I mean? I won't even know that because
Right.
I'm not connected enough to my mind and my body and my intuition to know, hey, she needs a bigger hug. She may need a pep talk. Like, let's
Yeah.
go talk over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, also, like, we tend to project the way we talk to ourselves on others, or we'll
Right.
overdo the positivity when we're talking to others because we want that positivity, that positive self-talk. You know what I mean?
I'm a
And so I
culprit.
think that, yeah, it's like you're overcompensating,
Mm-hmm.
because you want people to believe that you're like this positive person, but meanwhile you talk to yourself in a very negative way, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not helpful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's not
100%.
genuine, it's not going to be helpful.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people don't even need you to do a positive talk. They
That's
need you to
it.
be really real with them, and you're
Yeah.
giving them what you think they need
Mm-hmm.
because you're overcompensating, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I just think that there's just so much beauty in really connecting with yourself and getting to know you. And I think that it's bizarre that we were taught to pour so much into other people and not even get to
Mm-hmm.
know ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if I'm searching for a man, why am I studying everything about this man and I don't know shit about myself? You know what I mean?
Preaching.
You
Preaching.
know?
Preaching.
Because I'm gonna
100%.
know everything about my man, but I need to know everything about me too. Like
100%. 100%. No, that's 100%. I was told by someone that when we pour into people, we shouldn't have to tilt the cup. The
mm,
what we pour should be from our overflow. We should be so
yes,
full that the overflow is what we pour into people.
yes.
And I think I kind of want to focus on something that you talked about. I don't think is honored enough, especially in the space of dating or looking for our partner. So, as a person who aspires to be someone's amazing husband, I see the power of your singleness, being intentional in your singleness. I even am changing my mindset when it comes to seasons of aloneness,
Uh-huh.
because if I'm walking with the divine, I'm never really alone. It's
Yes.
just me and him or me and her. And so understanding that those spaces are beautiful. When it all first started, it was just me and you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so being able to be joyful in that space, be peaceful in that space, be my full self in that space, not making my desire to be a husband an idol, not making my desire to have a partner an idol, but just be fully me. I think that also helps prepare you for when it is your time to be someone's
Yeah.
partner, where you can just be fully there. You don't have to feel like I need to be overstimulated here or there. I have did enough work in my singleness to be content and where I'm at, to now that I'm with you, I'm content with you. I don't need much outside. And so it's been a beautiful, beautiful experience. Yeah, honestly, it's been a beautiful experience. And all in due time, when it's time to transition to partner mode and helping to, heal, be the type of person when I walk in a room, my lady's nervous system is like calm, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Yes.
until then, I'm doing the work in what I like to say, preparing for by, adopting these new mindsets, creating new habits, and just, being great in this space with me and God as I
Yes.
prepare to open up me, her, and God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Being intentional about singleness.
Hmm.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. I feel like my mind is slowly shifting in that direction, but I'm not there yet.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like I don't know. I've been very indecisive about dating, and I'll be like, "Oh," because the thing is, it's this is what it is. When I first started my healing journey, I was healing to be in a healthy relationship. Then I discovered the healthy relationship that I needed to be in was the one with myself, right? But because I was attached to that mindset,
Hmm.
sometimes I'd be like, "Oh, I need to heal some more before I date. Oh, I need to heal." And I'm like, Deshay, you're not healing to be with someone. You're not healing
Hmm.
to be with someone. So I had to keep reminding myself that the goal is not to be with someone, right?
Right,
Now I've grasped the concept, right? But now I'm like, I'm so in love with myself. I want to share this love with someone. You know what I mean?
right, right,
I
right,
want someone else to get to know this me because
right.
everyone else got to know that unhealed me that was like
Mhm.
expecting love from other people and not having
Yeah,
love from the inside, you know?
yeah.
And but I love the being fully you. because
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest things for me is I want a firm foundation of who I am. I want to minimize the shrinking, and I feel like I still sense that shrinking there, and I
Mhm.
want to minimize that like all the way as
Yeah,
far now. It's like I said, something I've been doing since I was a kid, so I know it's not going to be completely gone, but I want to be able to be like, "Hey, girl, you're shrinking. Let's be cool." Like, you know what I mean?
right,
Be
right.
you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, 100%.
be cool, be cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning that I need to be more comfortable in my fullness. And so I'm learning that, like I said, those safe spaces need to be found and had because I know that I'm a safe space. So I know that even if I go out in these safe spaces
Yeah,
and they're not safe, I know that I always have me to fall back on,
yeah,
right?
that's good.
But I still need to be around more safe spaces. The reality is, as much as I love being alone, as much as I love spending time with myself and connecting, with spirituality and stuff like that, as much as I love that, humans need connection.
You do.
You know what I mean? We need that to
You
thrive.
do. You
Um,
do.
and so I'm like, I need community. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm aware that because of my gift, I won't have a big community, and I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I need community.
Mhm.
And so I feel like that's why I've been back and forth with um embracing the singleness
Yeah.
because I'm like, if I find my core person, I don't really need a big ass community. I got my man. I got my man. I got my babies. I got
My
me.
man, my man, my
Like,
man.
I
I
was
love
like,
it.
I don't need a community.
Right, right. No, I love that. I love that. I'm the same. I'm the same. So I'm one of those people. I've learned this new term, and granted, it's 2025. It's the year of everything got a term, everything got a title, everything got a. So there's this thing. Of course, we know extrovert, introvert, and the basis of those is where people get energy. Introverts get energy when they're by themselves. Extroverts get energy when they're around people. But they've developed this new term called ambivert.
Yep.
So
I call it a
ambivert,
hybrid.
there it is. Same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
And
It's just
so it's
better.
yeah. Actually, I'd rather call it hybrid. So we going with your term, hybridvert. But basically, there are people who can get energy from two different areas. They can get energy by themselves, but when it comes to people, they gain energy from the right people, the
Mhm.
right, what I'm saying. And then when they're, I won't say not around the right people, but when they're in spaces with people, then it's just the battery. You know what I'm saying? And then when it gets to the point, they got to retreat and all that kind of stuff. And so I am definitely one of those people that can turn it on. I mean, we met each other in a space of publicness, so I can turn it on, be light, all this kind of stuff. But when I tell you I am a homebody, I'm the type of person that makes my home my paradise. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with staying there. Everything that I need, everything that I want, all the things that make me feel comfortable are already at the house. So,
Yeah.
um, and I feel like that's also the type of environment I would like to curate for my future wife. Somewhere where she knows when she comes home, this is peace. She comes home, she can take everything off. As y'all say, y'all can loosen the bra a little bit. It just, you know what I'm saying?
Take
Just
it off. Take the wig off. Take the bra off. Everything's coming off. Right?
she can be in full self, whether it's a day where she's fully um in a joyful energy or the day where she needs to melt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever my goal is to create, that environment for just not just her, but the family.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm with you all the way there, all the
Yeah.
way.
I love that. So, okay, I have a couple of questions, but
Talk to me.
so first, I'm a hybrid for sure, but I'm 100% extroverted more like I'm more extroverted than
Yeah,
introverted. And so I'm pretty isolated here in Vallejo. So not being connected to people sometimes drives me crazy.
hmm,
Which is why, but it's benefited me, right? Because that's how I've connected with so many people online and I
right.
do a lot of networking online. And
Mhm.
so most of the people that have been on the talk show, I've never met in person,
Got you.
but they've inspired me online and I've learned from them online and we've built connections. And so I'm like, you got to come on the show.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, so that's how it happened. But I want to know if you're more extroverted or introverted.
I, it's seasons. Like I'm the type of person like I'll go through my Monday, I'm at the house. Tuesday, I'm at the house. Wednesday, I'm at the house. And then something happened. I'll just be like, I want to go outside.
Yeah.
I'm outside. And then
Yeah.
I'll be the person while I'm outside, I'm like, you know what? I want to go
Yeah.
home.
You're
But
introverted.
so I think it really changes because then I'll have just because of my work and like for example, we're getting ready to do a music festival in Iowa for the Christian. And so like when I'm getting ready for a project where I gotta leave and be out, my extrovert is on. Like I'm
Yeah.
doom,
Yeah.
doom, 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 doom. And it's not until I get back home that I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I think if I had just to answer the question, I think just to give a percentage, I'm probably 60% introvert, 40% extrovert.
Yeah.
However, I'll have seasons where it will flip. And then when it flips, I am like 70% extrovert,
Yeah. Yeah.
30% extrovert. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Your introvert's like,
uh,
we get to show out now. Uh-huh.
right. But like literally I'll be in the middle of the dance move and just
You
be like,
know,
I wanna I wanna go I wanna go home and throw something in the air fryer and just, you know what I'm saying, lay back on the couch and watch Netflix. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm literally the friend that either leaves early or they be of course we got our group chats. And so we be talking, they be talking about movies. I'm like, hey, where y'all at tonight? They be like, are you stepping out tonight? Callie,
right.
you coming out? So I'm that friend. They be like, oh, okay, you showed up. And so yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do enjoy a good home experience though.
Yeah. See, I am definitely extremely extroverted. Like but it's just so much. So I feel like I've become more introverted. I've become more of a hybrid as I've learned to accept my gift, right? Because I'm already extroverted, I already have big personality, already big, right?
For sure.
Then you throw on a healing gift on top of that, and that
Mhm.
takes a lot of energy. So then I'm like 1,000. Okay, like, hey girl, I'm got jokes coming. I can tell that such and such is over there sad, so I'm gonna give her a big ass hug, give her
Yeah,
some of my energy. You know what I
right.
mean? Still have energy to give and to be.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm dancing and I'm lip singing and all this shit. I'm there. I'm in it. um, you know, but then I have to go home and refuel it. And
Yeah.
that's when that introverted side, like, leave me alone. Like,
Uh-huh.
I used to come home from Sacramento and I would go on a walk. Like the next day, I'm going on a walk by myself, like no
Yeah.
kids, nobody, like leave me alone.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I have to refuel that energy that I just
Yeah.
pushed out. And
Right.
that's where that introverted kicks in. And I'm like, I just want to be,
Yeah. 100%.
the kids will we'll just lay and we'll watch movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just down. And I feel like as I grow, that's going to increase even more. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm like 70-30. I feel like I'm 70% extroverted, 30%
Mhm.
introverted. And those are my numbers, 7 and 3. So I feel like
Uh-huh.
it just kind of came out of me right there.
That's dope.
Uh,
That's dope. That's dope. But I will say to that point, I'm really good at matching energy too. So especially if like I'm in a space where I just, kind of have a little bit of freedom in schedule and I'm with someone who we just like to experience things outside. We
yeah.
outside, you know what I'm saying? We rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
And so I'm never one to kind of just like super shrink away. But I have my days where I didn't went hard, had these experiences out there, and now I'm gonna shut down for the next two days. And
Mhm.
you only gonna hear from me if I feel like it's either recharging conversation or it's super important. Other than
Yeah.
that, I get to you when I get to you respectfully.
Yeah. Respectfully.
Respectfully. As y'all do. Clock it. Respectfully.
Clock it. I always call myself, so I'm Auntie Shay, I'm Mama Shay, I'm Grandma Shay. So I always be like, what the young folks say? Clock it.
I mean, we're at that space where we can say that. I've had my first experience of being called up, and it was just so. I mean, it was so genuine. It was so innocent. But when they said it, it was like, nah, I hear you up. I had a pause. I was like, dang.
Like, hold on, am I Unc?
I thought I was still big bro.
I
You
didn't
know,
slip into the Unc role.
you know what? You know, I did give him some wisdom. I'll take it. I'll take it. I've seen
Right?
some worse. I've seen some worse Unk situations. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm on the good side of Unks. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't think I have gotten it's I worked with preteens for a
Okay.
little while, and they were doing like a TikTok dance, and I knew the dance, I just didn't know it was a TikTok dance. So
They had you
I was
2-7.
doing it, and then they did like something where they tried to give me a high five, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, like you don't know the dance. I was like, I just thought we was dancing. But I personally just adopt the name. I'm always a mama bear. It don't matter how old you are. I'm a mama bear.
Come on.
I'm gonna be like, did you eat today? Did you drink
You're
your
nurturing.
water? What's going on?
Mhm.
So I always call myself Mama Shay or Auntie Shay or
Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey, shout out to the nurturers. Y'all are amazing. Amazing for sure. For sure.
so,
For
yeah, I'm
sure.
always like, that's me, y'all.
Come
I
on.
always feel like I put out an energy that I'm older than people, anyways. Usually the
Mhm.
people my age, and I feel like I'm older than them, but
Yeah.
um,
I get that when I start talking, usually as I start communicating, they be like, "How old are you?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Do
That's
you
it.
ever get people who are like intimidated by it?
Intimidated by what specifically?
So, as a young woman who has utilized her experiences to push her forward, right? So, my level of knowledge, my level of wisdom, my level of peace is at a different level. And there's people that have been like 6 years older than me, not, and they're like, dang, well, I wasn't like, I was like 32 when I learned that, or you know what I mean? Or like,
All
I didn't
right.
learn that till I was this age, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
here you already know it. And so they get like this level of animosity or
Yeah.
envy. So then they start treating me
A
like
certain
a
way.
kid.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? They'll start talking down to me or trying to find things to teach me, kind of
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mansplain or just old splain, if you will.
Hmm.
But so yes, I definitely have experienced that. But I put them into two categories. I think on one hand, I've experienced intimidation. On the other hand, I've experienced inspiration, right? And
Hmm.
so the intimidation usually comes from people who, after talking to them, like you're more closed minded, like you're more stuck in your ways. You believe your perspective are the only perspectives. There
Yeah.
really isn't much wiggle room in your mind for others and how they think. And so in those moments, I kind of get viewed as if, well, because you're not this age, I don't care what I'm seeing from you. I don't care what I'm hearing from you because you're not this age. You you must not know what you know, even though I'm seeing it from you.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah.
I- Even though I've sometimes even hired you for it, and
Yeah.
you're doing it at a level that I'm not, and therefore that's why you're still. And I think knowledge is not age specific. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Knowledge
Yeah.
is not age specific. But in the times where on a more positive end, there are people who are like, man, I didn't, like you said, I didn't grasp that until I was 10 years older than you or whatever. And those people, they're more inspired and they do what I believe we should do, which is find a way of expressing bridging that gap. And so
Yeah.
they'll say, okay, bam, I love the fact that you're here and you got there faster than me. These are some other areas that I see you can improve. How can I help you? Like, how can I help you get there? Because
Yeah.
you're already here. How can I help you get? And I appreciate those. I appreciate those people
Yeah.
that feel like that are very open minded.
Yeah.
But to the conversation we had earlier, that also speaks to, or some people say holding your frame, but
Mhm.
not shrinking. Just like just because of your thought process and you feel like I shouldn't know or be able to do these things at this age, but I'm doing it, doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. And it's okay if you don't understand.
Yes.
People fear what they don't understand. Um,
Yes.
and so if that's the case, then all love. I'm still going to operate in the way that I feel like my
Yeah.
spirit needs me to operate. And this exchange will be whatever it's supposed to be. And then I'll move
Yeah.
on. And you'll continue to see me do things amazingly at younger ages than you, respectfully. but
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad that you got to experience that though. I see that you got here before me, but here, let me add to it because I never get that. I get the wow, that's inspiring, but I'm still intimidated. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Because it's usually women. Men, they usually try to pull the like, they try to get all like, put you in your place kind of thing. Uh,
mhm,
but with women, it's usually women. Like
mhm,
I worked this job one time, and not only was I like pretty wise, but I also was a fast learner. So at the job, I was being considered to be a manager, and there were other people who had been there longer. And so they were like, if you get hired as manager, like they're all fussing at me because I'm getting ready to level up. You know what I mean? And these are grown ass women because at
hey,
that time I was in my 20s and they're
hey,
in their like 30s and 40s. I'm
hey,
not you jealous of me and you grown as
yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing about that throws me off, and I heard somebody articulate that on social media. I think it was somebody's podcast. They said there's some people who have the mindset that they will spend more energy in trying to stop you or destroy you than they would in just investing in themselves to get to where, okay, like if you see me at this point, I'm not like a gatekeeper. If one, sometimes you don't understand favor. God put me here. Don't be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Like I just showed up and the door was open, but there was a certain level of work I had to do to be the person that can hold this, manage this. So instead of being mad at me, why don't we collaborate so you can see these are the steps and put more energy into just improving yourself? And
yeah.
some people you can't say that because they're going to take it negatively,
Oh
but
yeah.
I had to go through the same process. There's so many people that I've met that were younger than me that were at certain spaces. There's so many people that I felt like I had all these things, but they were still doing it. And I don't have the mindset that makes me jealous. I'm like, okay, well, what did you do? Like,
Yeah.
okay, what were your
Yeah.
steps? You know what I'm saying? Well, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do that. Oh, I need to be more disciplined in this area. Okay. And now I'm like, look, you're not my competition. We are collaborators. But
Yeah.
I'll say this too. You touched on this. And I love my sisters and I love my brothers. But when you are still processing through a survival mindset, there's this space where we feel like we all have to be the one. Like
Yeah.
I got to be the one to get us about the hood. I
Yeah.
got to be the one to do X, Y, and Z. No, 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 you can't. I got it. I got it. When we are bred to be community, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shay got the holistic. Callie got the marketing. This person got the entertainment. This person has the health. This person has this. If we were to ever let go of being the one and being one of, you know what I'm saying? Being one of, not only where we wouldn't even ask for doors to be open, we'd be kicking them down. We wouldn't ask to be at tables. We would be building them and creating room for other people to be at our table.
Yes.
Like we wouldn't have to go through so many hard steps because as a group we would be helping each other get to where we need to go. But it's a
Mhm.
mindset thing. It's a mindset thing.
It's
So
definitely a mindset thing. And the thing is, it needs to be a community mindset.
right.
You know what I mean? And I think that self-reflection needs to be normalized. We're so busy looking at what such and such is doing. We're not reflecting on what we did, what our role is in things, and how can we level up.
Yeah.
Again, if you see me and you see that I've reached this level at this age, you're pointing the finger. Well, she's
Mhm.
doing this and maybe she had this and you're making all these assumptions, baby. I went through the fire.
Right.
I went through the fire.
Mhm.
And again, God's favor, God trusted me with these storms so that I can have the lessons so that I can teach the other people. But again, I went through the fire.
Come on.
It's going to take looking at yourself. It's going to take, like you said, being honest. Where can I work at? Where can I be stronger at? You know what I mean? Maybe I need more discipline. Maybe I need more structure. Maybe I need to communicate more effectively. You know what I mean? There's always room for improvement. And I think that because it's so hard to look in the mirror and see who you are and see where you need growth or those things, right? It's easier to just be. It's easier to just complain. It's easier to say, well, she's like that because she has a therapist. get you a therapist. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's
None of these things
easier
are
to
stopping you.
live it
Right.
and make excuses than it is
Mhm,
to actively work and change and love on
mhm.
yourself.
Come on.
It's easier,
It is.
and I
It is.
think that we are in a era where everything comes easy.
Mhm,
We got the microwave, we got the damn
mhm,
calculator, we got these iPhones that
mhm,
adjust the settings so your photos come out popping. Like
mhm.
we're used to easy.
Right.
We're used to easy. And so
Yeah.
we're expecting our healing to be easy. Healing is not easy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
easy. It's not always
Not at
beautiful.
all.
You're
Not at
gonna
all.
cry. It's gonna be one of those cries. It's gonna,
Yeah.
you're gonna have
Yeah.
the cries. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. The
It's
process.
to me as a whole, it's beautiful,
Mhm.
but it's ugly at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Both
And
are true. You know,
embracing all of it, embracing it all, embracing
yeah,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that goes missed. I think
Mhm.
that people see the end result or they see what they see online
Mhm.
and they want that, and they
Yeah.
just, well, how can I get that? Baby, look in the mirror.
Yeah,
That's
and do the work. Do the work. Do the work. You said the easy part. I think sometimes the enemy's best trick is making the things that we need to do seem hard. And if he just can make it a little bit hard enough, if he can make the journey look a little long enough, if he
Mhm.
can make it look like it's a little bit more struggle than we're used to, we
Yeah,
will talk about, I don't feel peace in that. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah,
I want this healthy body, but there got to be an easy way to get. No, get in the
yeah,
gym or go for the walk. You have to be uncomfortable. You gotta get
yeah,
to the point where you're comfortable being uncomfortable if you really want the things
exactly.
that you say.
Literally what I just wrote down.
Yeah, you got to.
Embrace
Even
the discomfort.
yeah, you
Embrace
got to. You got to. You got to. I was about to say, even in the space of people talk about wanting a healthy relationship and we get lost in all these images of healthy couples or at least what they seem healthy on social media, you don't see the moments where they have to have hard conversations.
Yeah.
You don't see the moments where they got to forgive each other. You don't see the moments where the partner has found a pet peeve in the other one and they literally have to talk to God like, hey, I love them more than this bothers me. Help me process. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Help me
Yes.
get through this. We don't see that part. Plus, as men, there's a certain I believe there's a certain responsibility that comes with caring for the heart of a woman, especially a black woman. And it takes work. Like it takes work. And we want all the blessings of I'll say this for most men that I listen to that aren't married or aren't in positive relationships, there's this space of like, I need her to respect me, and they'd say words like submission and all these kind of things, and I'll just be like, based on what I read in the book, like men are supposed to be the head. Headship and leadership are two different things, but there are elements that
Yeah.
are similar within them. But usually, the things that you want in another person, you have to lead with.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to get a great woman to submit is you first submit. The easiest way to get respect is you first respect her and create a
Yeah.
space where she knows that, okay, okay, that's how he moves and that's how we move. You
Yeah.
can't really expect a result that you didn't work for. And if you didn't
Yeah.
work for that, then why would she? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I just think it's especially in my journey of unlearning and relearning, enjoying the harder road,
Yeah.
intentionally picking the harder road,
Right.
intentionally disciplining myself. When others say, yeah, that's cool. No, that's not cool. When others say, yeah, we can, nah, my standard's too high, and I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
can't go do that. I can't engage in this conversation. It
Yeah.
might be time for me to leave just because I am working to be this person and I have to put in the work. You know what I mean? It's not just gonna
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah. Exactly. It's choosing differently. You have
mhm,
to choose differently in order to get where you want to go. And I think that it's important to have know where you want to go so you can choose differently. But I feel like we say we want healthy, we want healthy, we want healthy. But because we're used to unhealthy, we're comfortable in that. So we
right.
keep choosing unhealthy.
Mhm,
And I had to learn that the hard way because I'm like, girl, how are you worthy and you keep choosing unworthy? Like, you know what I mean? How do you keep, why do you keep devaluing yourself? What is going on? I had to really break that all the way down. And it's challenging if you've been in multiple unhealthy, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, my romantic lives were unhealthy, but also my relationship with my parents was unhealthy. So unhealthy was all I
Mhm.
aspects, right? So I
Mhm.
kept choosing unhealthy. So now I love myself. I have boundaries. I know what I'm worthy of, right? But in certain instances, more like with men, because my dad, you know, my connection to my dad, I kept choosing unhealthy, right? Why are you doing that, girl? Like self-reflection, right? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Having that connection, then deciding, hey, what path, you know, can I go on to get out of this cycle? What path is going to get me there? This is the easy route. But it's easy to choose unhealthy because that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with,
Yeah.
right? But at some point, you have to experience that discomfort and be like, I think that's what's better for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, experiencing a healthy relationship with myself and the way I communicate with myself, I'm like, I'm not going to tolerate you communicating with me this way when I communicate with myself this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think embracing that, embracing, like you said, embracing the discomfort and really taking that harder path, it's more effective. It's more effective. It takes longer. Who cares? That's the other thing. We get so caught up in time. I'm this age, I should be married, or I should have this amount of kids, I should buy my house, whatever. We get
Yeah.
caught up in these other people's timeline, other people's rules, you know, and I'm like, why?
Right.
You know, we don't need to do that.
Hey. Hey. Come on, baby. Ah, I love it.
Holla bear.
Come on. Hola. She's like, I need to come get some of the
She's not
Come,
ashamed. She's 5 years
come
old.
on, Dollar. Go ahead. You already know you got an amazing mama.
She's looking at the replay on the screen because I have YouTube pulled up on the other screen.
That's cool. That's cool. That is so amazing. Getting a chance to see the future as you're building for it. Oh, I love it. I love it. If Netflix wasn't popping and my brother wasn't here, my niece would be right in here as well. She'd be on my hip. That's my girl. It'd be on my hip. Oh man.
Here, close it. Thank you. Oh, my shoe. You guys locked my shoe in the. Actually, I need this door cracked. It feels good outside.
Are you
Feels
near some natural breeze or something?
no. Yes and no. I live in these apartments, and the balcony faces trees and like an open like hill, so it's nice and the air gets nice and circulated. It's a nice scenery for me. I because I
No.
love nature. So
Yeah, same here, same here. Okay, well that's dope. All
yeah,
right. Well,
yeah. But you had mentioned earlier, you mentioned setting the atmosphere at home.
mhm.
And that's something I've been focused on lately because when I go to my acupuncture office, you want the moment I walk in there, okay, I'm at ease because he's created an atmosphere.
Yeah,
Everything about the space is intentional. There's a
yeah,
little water feature, not too big, not too loud. There's a little plant. You know, there's then you move through the room, there's more plants in this other open area. But when you go into your own private room, the ceiling is black. I thought that was amazing because I lay and I look up and my mind is clear. Like
yeah.
I'm not overthinking. I'm not like I'm just there in the moment, right?
Mhm.
You know, there's music playing. There, it smells good, but there's not like incense burning or essential oils or anything.
Right, right.
And the art is intentional. Everything's intentional, right? And so I was like, I really want to create a space at home where I can feel that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because there's just so much power in being intentional on how we're setting up our home life. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so I wanted to kind of hear your vision on that.
Yeah. Great question. Great question. I think just my thought process when it comes to home is just inspired by my family members and different, times I would go to. And family is those in blood and those who have become family, just being so close. And I would go to different houses and I would feel the energy of the house based on the layout. So some houses you go in, you see these beautiful family pictures, you see these, different artworks on the wall. It might be a scent. There's certain houses I came in and they always smelled like, even when they weren't cooking, it just smelled like home food.
Yeah,
It made you comfortable. um, Other houses where it was more playful energy, you see kind of like the board games, you see the cards, all that kind of stuff. And I realized that, realizing without realizing it, that as you get to know yourself more, you understand the things that kind of help you and
yeah,
those around you. And you can start to kind of pour into yourself with by just the environment that you have around.
yeah,
So, I am a big scent guy. I get a chance to represent a brand called Aromatic Alchemy, and so I think about the chemistry behind scent. So whether it's having certain essential oils going, I do like incense, but not too much, especially when the kids are around. Just
yeah,
I don't know. But I'd like to make sure that there's some type of fresh scent in the
yeah.
house. A lot of times, especially when the weather is cooperating, I leave the door open and let the natural flow of things go in.
Hmm.
Um, I am, especially with the kids, I love doing things that inspire their confidence. So certain pictures that, show them very happy, stuff like that, I might get blown up. And as they come in the house, I might change it up. So they'll stop and be like, oh, I remember that moment. I remember, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And so um, other stuff, I love artwork. I love artwork that reflects culture. I love artwork that reflects my mindset, things I believe in. Even there, you might see got Tupac back there. Um, some of these are like different stuff from the kids,
yeah,
and you know what I mean. And then so throughout the house, I'll have different, and I need more too, but different art pieces that make me feel powerful, make the family feel powerful, makes us feel valued, things of that nature. But also, and I'll be real with you, the biggest way that I think I set the tone is music is one of my love languages. I am a music person.
yeah,
So it's very rare that you'll be in a house and there will be some type of tune on.
yeah,
And it's very eclectic. Some days it may be hip hop, other days it may be R&B. Sometimes it's neo soul. People don't even know what neo soul is, but
I do.
I love neo soul music. Soul Child, you know what I'm saying? NDRE, all that kind of stuff.
Feels
Some
that.
days, yeah, come on now, you know it.
Oh
Some
yeah, that's
days,
my genre. That and R.
yeah, yeah, all day, all day. If I can live in one genre, it's gonna be R&B, neo soul,
Yeah, yeah,
gospel. R&B, neo soul, gospel. Those are gonna be my three. Sometimes it's Christian hip hop. Sometimes it's classical music. Sometimes it's reggae. Sometimes it's dancehall. Sometimes it's reggaeton. Sometimes I just find they have on YouTube the different DJs that do their sets, and you can just
yeah,
sit there and listen. Sometimes I find a vibe that kind of fits there, and so it is not rare for me, my kids, sometimes the moms in the house, be the kids to randomly break out and dance, and
yeah,
we just moments, you know what I mean. And so I think the theme that I try to go for in the house is joy, peace, and empowerment. And
yeah,
so, and funny enough, like it's one thing to kind of like put things up in the house, but I also realize doing certain things like just keeping the house clean. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the less your mind sees clutter, the less it feels cluttered.
Exactly.
Um, Simple stuff like being intentional, and it's not all every single day, but it's very few days it doesn't happen, but just making sure the bed is clean. After I knock out my workouts, come back in from my walk, boom, the bed is made and all that kind of stuff. And just me walking in and seeing things done makes me
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like, oh, we killing it today. And my day just
yeah,
started.
yeah,
Um, Also, to your point, I know you talked about affirmations to close it out. the the main area in the house that I really make mine is the bathroom.
Hmm.
That bathroom is like my brain sometimes in there. And so bathroom may be full of letters to myself. There was a one time that I would use like there was a space when in the past when I was dating I would use the lipstick that she was okay with me doing a thing and I would write things on the mirror.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Right now I have pieces of notes that I read out my affirmations to see.
yeah,
Just I spend a lot of time in the bathroom. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a guy thing, but we spend a lot of time in the bathroom. And so when I'm in the bathroom and I just look around, I just like to create things that when my
yeah,
eyes hit it, it pours back into me. And so yeah, that would be my answer. Just being intentional of scent, being intentional of visual, being intentional of just how the house looks clean and just put together. And then every once in a while, I just switch it up. Like every probably once a quarter, we making a thing. I'm like, hey, kids. Next week we're gonna switch up the room. Think about where do you want the dresser, where do you want the bed, all this kind of stuff.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
want to put some artwork down, or do you want to put some stuff up? Um, and then just yeah. So that would be my answer. That's kind of like my flow.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I do the same thing with the affirmations. I write them with this bad boy
Come
on the
on,
mirror. I've been doing it for some time to the point where my daughter this week she decided she's gonna write her name on the window. I mean the
you
mirror.
go crazy. She just following in great footsteps. That's it.
Nala. She wrote it twice too. Nala Nala.
No, no, like Shay Shay. Come on, go crazy.
So, but I think that I don't have the space. And so I utilize this space to do that. Like that's what all this stuff is. These are not affirmations, but positive words that were given to me at my last birthday party.
Come on,
I created this tree. I called it the tree of prosperity.
come on.
Uh, and so you know how people have the money trees at
Yeah,
weddings, like clip money to it. So I'm like, you can clip money to it, or you can clip like just like a positive thing or something like that. So that's what this stuff is. But all of my affirmations are up here. I have it's a big vision board,
mhm.
um, and it's from my year 30. But some of the stuff I did achieve, but of course we want to build on that.
Yeah,
So I just took some stuff off, like just some filler stuff, and I added stuff on there. So I made it my year 31 board as well. But yeah. So I like that. I like what your bathroom looks like is probably what this wall looks like.
yeah, pretty much. Nah, seriously, pretty much. And the things we got to do to continue to recharge, pour back into ourselves, but also make just making home a place that just fills you. You know what I'm saying, with all the
Yeah,
positives. It's
yeah,
a place that I can escape to and know that I'm safe, know that I'm
yeah.
loved here, know that I'm cared for, regardless of what I had to deal with outside. When I come
Right here.
home, I can put my shield down. I don't have to still keep my armor on. I can take my armor off and be okay.
Yes.
So
Yes. I love that. So before we close out, you said, um, excuse me, I ate too fast.
you good?
Um, you said that in your singleness, you're focused on being fully you.
Mhm.
And so I want to know in those lonely moments, what keeps you going? What keeps you focused on you and not like, I gotta get someone, I gotta get someone. Like, you know what I mean?
All right. Great question. I think first off, what helps is the fact that I'm a father. So even in the moments of, I'll say, loneliness in the sense of another partner, I
Yes.
still have people that rely on me. I still
Yes.
have people that I create an environment for that is safe. I still have people who love me unconditionally, whether daddy is 100% today or daddy is at 10%. You
Yes.
still, you still care. You still, and I have a son and a daughter, and the love that I get from both is different, but so
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
amazing. Daughter, oh my gosh. My perfect example. We go out to eat. She looks at my son. She says, you're sitting on the other side because I'm sitting next to dad.
Okay. I know
And
that's right.
Granted, she don't look for a response from him. She tells him it, and then she moves on and gets the seat next to me, and she be rocking. My daughter's the type that if I'm on the couch, she doesn't ask to, Dad, can I sit on you? She almost acts as if I'm not there. She gets in front, she moves my arm, she moves my legs, she goes up and curls up and burrows into. I just be like, I guess I'm a love seat. I guess that's just what I am. And my son has, and so it makes it easy to not focus so much on being alone, knowing that I'm building, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Now that's one end, but there are times where it's just my mind and the thoughts of being with someone else. And so I think in those moments, I think of preparation. Not to get too churchy, but I feel like a lot of when I look at the Bible, it's more so. Long story short, every device that's created, the person who created that device gave you a user manual to get the best out of that device, right? So I feel like God is the creator of the universe, creator of life, creator of all these things. And I look at the Bible as like the user manual on how to get the best out of this life while you're here. And so when I think about stuff like that, in the story of like Adam and Eve, whether you're a person that believes in the word, a lot of people know about the whole Adam and Eve and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I look at that story, Adam, like Eve wasn't created when Adam was created. Adam was
Mhm.
created first, and God put him to work. He gave him a purpose, he gave him a plan, he gave him a job, he gave him a place to stay.
Yes.
And then while Adam was working in his purpose, God said, you know what? You've been killing me, bro. You should not be by yourself.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and get you an Eve real quick. And he didn't just drop her out the sky. She didn't just walk from behind a bush. He made Adam rest. And while he rested, he created Eve out of Adam. And when Adam woke up from that rest, she was next to him. Like
Mhm.
that. So in moments where my mind may try to get me to focus on feeling lonely, I think about I'm just preparing for her.
Yeah.
That's preparing for her. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do certain things that help me work on my discipline. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
certain things that help me work on, finances, making that a creative space of comfortability. I'm gonna do things to, I might, like I think I told you next year, I'm gonna be going back to school and be, taking on a class of being a holistic nutrition. So she knows she gonna eat good with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she gonna laugh.
I
She's
like
gonna
to eat.
right.
Okay.
And so I'm just more so I allow myself to feel it, and then I just transfer it back to we're just preparing for her. That's
Yeah.
it. When the
Yeah.
time is right, not only will I might have already met her, and I just didn't know yet, but when the time is right, and God knows that I'm ready, doors will open, and then we'll build. And so I try not to let my mind stay in a space of loneliness too long because then it makes it seem as if I have to do it.
Yeah.
And I think you had even said this when we don't process our loneliness the right way, we end up doing too much.
Yeah.
And we be like, why is this happening? And I was like, I ain't tell you to do that. I ain't
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
If you would have prayed to me before you started talking to her, I would have told you she's not the one for you like that, baby.
Yeah.
Y'all supposed to build something. You wasn't supposed to be intimate. And so that would be my answer. Focusing
Yeah.
on the already responsibilities that I have, like my children, and knocking that out, making sure I'm doing all the things I need to do there. And in moments where I'm just feeling the loneliness, reminding myself that I'm preparing for it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I love that a lot. I like there's power in hearing things from another person's perspective, right?
Mhm.
Because what I say to myself is I'm being stretched to for alignment, right? Um and that's the preparation.
Yeah.
That's the, me working to be the best me. Because the person that I want to meet, I want them to be the best them or higher. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as our potential goes, I want us to be as close to our fullest potential as possible. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
means I have to be, I have to keep going. Um, but sometimes that's not soothing enough. And this morning, when I was feeling the loneliness and I was kind of reflecting on my previous connections, what fell into my spirit was loneliness is not a reflection of your worth.
Mm,
That's what I was doing.
mm, yeah.
Tying my loneliness to like, well,
Yeah.
well, maybe you're not worthy of connection, or maybe you need to work harder in order for you to have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. Like, you know what I mean? And I know it's not true, right? So I think that's why that message fell into my spirit. And it was a word, so I had to share it. Okay. I posted it on
No,
everything today. I
no,
was
not
like,
really.
somebody else might need this.
No, 100%.
Um,
That's such a. Can you say it again, just for the people in the back? You know, saying what the loneliness is. What?
Loneliness is not a reflection of your worth.
Come on, come
It's
on.
not a reflection
Yeah,
of your worth.
yeah.
And
It's so powerful.
I think that right now I'm in the season of firming that self-love foundation, my loving my wholeness and accepting my wholeness. And that means I need to consistently be my whole self in order for that to happen. And so I think that that's where the stretching is for me right now. That's
Mhm.
why I'm doing, different things that are going to challenge my comfortability so that
Yeah,
I can get out of that comfort zone and be comfortable with being whole.
yeah.
And being comfortable with being whole also means being comfortable with those growing pains, right? Because once
Yeah.
I reach this level of wholeness, there's still going to have to be some elevation. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
still going to round out and get bigger. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's a
Levels on
beautiful thing,
levels. Levels
you
on
know?
levels. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I always think about it like, Beyonce and Chris Brown, right? When they came out, they had great voices. But if you listen to a Chris Brown song from back then, his voice
Mhm.
does not sound
Like it does now. Yeah.
exactly. So he
Mhm.
has the gift, but he has to keep elevating. And
Mhm.
it's the same thing with us, with these our sense of self, with our gifts, with our talents. We have to keep elevating it in some way. And so I want to reach a good foundation of who I am. So then that way when I do build with my partner, we can be, reaching,
They're dynamic duo, and I think that's I just throw this in there that I think that we are so powerful together, and I'll be specific about Black men and women. Um, that there are intentional forces trying to make it seem like we're enemies,
Yeah.
trying to make it seem like we don't love each other, trying to make it
Yeah.
seem as if we're opposing sides. But those forces know that if we were to ever see through and understand how powerful we are together, that we will be a force to reckon with, and we always have been. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think a lot of the issues we have experienced historically have been after the intentional destruction of the Black family. Once
Yeah.
they realized that that was a power base, even through times of slavery, even through times like they couldn't do too much because we were doing it.
Yeah.
But once they realized, oh, if we affect the family, then that cuts the power for both the men and the women. If we can ever kind of make them seem like they're enemies, they don't even know
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? And so I think from the work that you're doing, from the work that I get to do, from the work that others intentionally are doing, we're starting to change the narrative. Like, hey, we love you, Black woman. We
Yeah.
need you. You know what I'm saying? And we know that you love us too. How do we express it in healthy ways, even if it's not a space where we're intimate together? How do I still support you
Yeah.
um, and make you feel safe, and vice versa?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's awesome. And I think that it's like you said, it's a powerful message that I feel like needs to be put out there. I think that we focus on the negative, you know what I mean? Just for like a superficial example, the conversation around Black men who are choosing other races, right?
Mhm.
It's talked about a lot, but they're not talking about the Black men who are choosing the Black women. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're just throwing out these things, and so that becomes the conversation. So that
Yeah.
it's like we're at war. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so it's just, but it's other instances, of course, but
Of
that's
course.
like the main one that people
Yeah.
like to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're stealing all of our men.
And really, the thing is, like, I remember. Are you familiar with this podcast called Poor Minds?
My friend, my cousin, she tells me about it a lot.
All right.
I
So
haven't watched it myself though.
I'm not. I won't say that I'm an avid watcher, but there was an episode that they had, and that I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw different pieces, but I forget his name. He's a guy that's on BET. Him and his wife are, pretty big influencers, but they're actors as well. Black, lighter skinned guy. But he was on the show talking about these things, and he was saying, he asked them, he was like, "Who do you think black men are marrying the most?" And they kind of gave their answers, and their answers were coming more so from other races. He was like,
Yeah.
really, statistically, black men are marrying black women at a
Yeah.
higher rate than they ever have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially in recent years. And they started to talk about, well, what about the men that are making such and such and such? It was like it's even higher when it comes to black men who are at a certain financial level.
Mhm.
They're marrying black women. And so I think one of the enemy's greatest tricks, especially when we're in the information with all these different information coming, we don't know what's real, what's not real, what's false truth, what's all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just attaining our view of what's real and making
Yeah.
it think this one thing, when really in reality, all all the dope black husbands that I know of, like all of them, all the dope black husbands that I have, you know, equity with, that I have proximity with,
Yeah.
they're all married a sister. And if you marry someone outside of it, that's fine. I mean, love is however
Yeah.
you see it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing against it. But to paint a picture that that is the majority, I think is also intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Because it's again with the doing the work, right? We are too accepting of the knowledge that's right in front of us instead of
mhm,
going to get the facts ourselves. Just like he looked up those statistics. We can
mhm,
look up those statistics. They're out there.
100%,
They're out
100%.
there. Was it Google Scholar? That's
Yeah.
everyone can access that.
Mhm.
Everyone can access that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I was taught that you find a scholarly resource, and if you find an overlap with backed up resources, if you find it
Right.
in at least 3 articles, then you
Mhm.
can start to believe it as a fact,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
But all
100%.
this speculation, this is just people seeing what's around them. Like you said, what you see around you is not the same as what
Mhm.
other people are. And then also people just like to talk shit.
There
We're in a culture
is
where they love reality TV. They love
right.
fake news, right? So
Right.
they want to just talk shit. You can
Right.
live
Right.
that on
Right.
I'm not living in it. Okay, honey. I'm
The
not doing
dangers
it.
of social media. Not everybody needs a microphone where the world can hear their perspective. You haven't done the work to speak enough on that.
Yeah.
But I hear you wholeheartedly, because I come from the generation that still had to go to the library to look up stuff. I still remember the Dewey Decimal System, not
Yeah.
knowing how to find this book and having to look at all these different things. I still remember asking my mom how to spell a word, and she said, "Go look it up in the dictionary." And I'm like, "Woman, I just asked you how to spell it. That means I don't know how to spell it." But in me sounding it out, I always found the word.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'll say this, and this is something that I've even embraced in my evaluation of future partners, whether intimate or platonic. Courage. I think courage is such it's such a powerful
Yeah.
mindset, or whatever you would call it. Just I love courageous people, people who have enough courage to be themselves.
Yeah.
Well, it takes courage to not assume. It takes
Yeah.
courage to sit back and say, you know what, I don't know enough about this subject to comment on it. It takes courage to say, I hear you, but I don't really know them. Let me find out from my.
Yeah.
It takes courage to even say, I don't know. It takes courage
Yes.
to
Yes.
do all these things. It takes courage to say, teach me. It
Yeah.
takes courage to do so many things. And I think a lot of the qualities that I am looking for in a wife, a lot of qualities I look for in business partners, a lot of qualities I look for in just people that I call my friends, is courage. Are you
Yeah.
courageous enough to be you?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to be something else. So,
Yes. Yes. So I have this book that I've been reading on Audible, and it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And from that book, I have developed so many affirmations, and one of them is I have the courage to be wrong,
come on.
because we don't want to be wrong. So
Mm-mm.
we will double down on our non-fact having ass, okay? You know, this person could come with the facts. They got an essay on it, okay? And we double down. You know what I mean? We don't want to be wrong. And I think there's beauty in
Mhm.
saying, you know what? Teach me.
Right.
That's my favorite thing to say. Educate me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know.
Enlighten me. Enlighten me. Yes, my pen and pad. Tell me. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And
I
especially when
want
it's
to
coming from our
know.
people.
I want to know. And like you said, the courage to be yourself. Another affirmation. I have the courage to be authentically me, wholeheartedly. You know, I have the courage, and the courage to be disliked is a powerful thing, because the reality is, if you have the courage to be disliked, then you have the courage to stand up and be yourself. Because a lot of reasons why we're not being ourselves is because we want to be liked, but you can't be liked by
Mhm.
everybody. Be
You're
yourself.
not. You're not. You're not
Everybody gonna like you.
at all. And I even throw this in there. When you have enough courage to be yourself and stand up for you, those people also have enough courage to stand up for others.
Mm-hmm.
But people end up saying, "Hey, that's wrong. You shouldn't talk to them like that. Don't treat them like that. Matter of fact, why are you letting them talk to you like that? Do
Yeah.
you know how dope you are? Do you know how amazing you are? Don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So side note, I hit one of my goals. I was like, we the second show. I want to beat the time that you had for the first show, and so we just crossed 2 hours. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I done hit my goal. We were chatting it up. Come on now. Chatty
Ah,
patties. Chatty patties. You know what I'm saying? I hit my goal.
that look on your face when I said for the last question, you're like,
I was like, let me stretch it out. I just want to hit two. I just want to hit two. We good.
two.
Well, yeah. So this has been amazing. This has been a great, great combo for
Yeah.
sure. It's usually always a great combo when I talk to you, but this has been, pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, because actually we usually talk in voice messages, so this was actually like an audio
Right.
thing.
Right. You've expanded my saying communication skills through text messages. Those voice memos are actually pretty dope though. It feels like you got a little walkie talkie.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Listen, 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 listen. If y'all can't handle my voice messages, then we cannot be friends. I
100%.
can't, there's no other way for me. One, I'm goofy and sarcastic. So you
Mm.
never know in a text message what the fuck I'm being. That's
Right,
I
right.
like a person to know my tone, my excitement, my rise, my
Yeah.
fall. If I'm soothing you, I want you to hear that I'm soothing you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
not to mention standing around trying to type out a message is very time consuming. Baby, I got shit to do,
yeah.
but I
100%.
still want to talk to you.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you will get this voice message, baby. And
yeah.
I do it on everything. I do it on Instagram, phones. I do
Your
before
voice is out
Android
there.
would let you do it, I used to record it in a voice memo and then send it to my sister because it wouldn't allow me iPhone to Android, it wouldn't allow me to just send a voice message.
Right, right, right.
I said you gonna get this voice message, baby.
Right.
Facebook lets you do it. Everyone lets you do it except for TikTok.
Huh,
TikTok,
interesting.
get it together.
Get
But
it together,
Snapchat
TikTok.
does it. Our phones do it. Instagram, Facebook does it. Everyone does it except for
For
TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, well, see, TikTok, y'all owe Deshay a check because she helping you improve your app, and we got to record it.
Even
So,
Threads does it now. I don't know if you know that. Threads
what?
does it now. You
Oh,
can do a
yeah,
voice.
I did see that, and they transcribe it too. They transcribe it
Mhm.
when you speak, so that's beautiful. And you
Yeah,
said something that like actually made me more think about using the voice memos more. It's tone. Text messages
you say
sometimes
it.
come with lost. So you think someone's serious and they chilling, or you think someone's
Yeah,
chilling and they're serious. So
yeah,
being able to hear your voice and hear the tone, like, oh, okay, I know. You know what I mean? So that's dope.
yeah. Not to mention the overuse of emojis. Because I can use an emoji and be depressed and sad, and you think I'm
This is
happy.
true. This is
You know what I
true.
mean?
You know what I'm
I
saying?
want to hear. I want to be raw. I want to be honest. I want to be transparent.
And you have a very unique laugh that don't. I need to hear. I need to hear the actual giggle. I need to hear the actual laugh.
You know what I learned? I learned that I have a different laugh for each situation.
Not you having category specific laughs, like just
Listen, because there's like I have like a nervous laugh and like like a I'm super giggly, or then I also have like a blushy, like a different kind of nervous laugh, right? Like a super flattered laugh. Like I just have I don't even know them. Okay, I don't even know all of them, but it's just funny. I've heard it from my therapist. I've heard it from a previous partner, and so it's just funny to me because that is something that I have heard is that my laugh is unique.
Yeah, unique and infectious. Sometimes I'll laugh just because I heard you laugh, and now I'm laughing. We both just laughing through this voice memo. But yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes that is healing too.
Yeah,
Joy, the joy of the Lord is your strength, and sometimes a good laughter heals the soul. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we reached your goal.
As
So
y'all be doing.
now you can close us out with some affirmations.
All right, that's dope. That's dope. So if
I
you
need
don't
about
mind,
5. No, I'm just kidding.
what do you say?
I said I need about 5.
All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the affirmation that I say with my kids every day, and then I'm gonna do the affirmation that I say when I go in the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay. So
When
the
you go in the
affirmation. So what? I'm not messing with you. You really get into your after hours bag now. This I see it. I see it.
no, just what
All
you need
right.
affirmation for to keep going? Keep going. Push. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, we definitely could keep going though. So with that being said, I call them the starting five. And so when I ask the kids to give me my starting five, they say I'm loved, I am great, God is always with me, I'm a winner, and every day is my day. And so that's how they start their day off. And then when I step into the bathroom, it's a collection of different things. So um it starts off with I thank God that I'm free in every area of my life. I thank God that I'm positively obsessed with my health and in the best shape of my life. I thank God that I'm successfully running and partnering in hugely successful and lucrative businesses and brands that employ and empower people all over the globe. And I thank God that I'm highly financially literate and living in abundance in every area of my life.
Yes.
And so those are the two. There's other ones that I say, in moment specific, or when I'm feeling nervous. There's ones that I say when I'm feeling overzealous. There's ones that I say to kind of, you know what I mean? But those are the two that see me every day. Those affirmations.
Yeah.
Love to see me coming every
Yeah.
day.
I love it. I love how specific they are. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we get caught up in the I am enough. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to remind people is be specific to you, what you
Mm-hmm.
need. There's power in that. I love that. All right, my loves. We can talk all night, but we're not going to.
Mm-mm.
So thank you guys so much for watching the Carter Love Talk Show After Hours. I look forward to seeing you guys. Remember, we're doing this every Friday night at 7 p.m. That's the after hour show, but the original Carter Love Talk Show is still going on every Monday night at 7 p.m. And in the fall, in November, we will be bringing back Beautifully in Balance, where I speak on healing your trauma, setting boundaries, grieving, those sorts of things, mental health topics, and things of that nature. So we will be bringing that back on Wednesday nights of November. So until next time, my loves, bye bye.
Adios.